Hello, my friends. It is Paul. I have an audiobook review for you today. So I finally finished A Promised Land by Barack Obama. This is the first volume in his memoir about his time as the president. And I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. It took me a very long time to read because I listened to this book because Obama, and I listened up to about 35%, but then my hold at the library came due, so I had to return it, and then I had to wait a few weeks before the hold came back, but then I finished it. In this first volume, it starts out with him growing up in Hawaii, his family, and his schooling, and what type of child he was. He was not the perfect child that maybe a lot of presidents think that they are, but he had some rough edges. And those rough edges, though, allowed him to grow and his character to grow. So when he went to school, he became passionate about law and he became a lawyer. It was great to read how ambitious he was and how he used his passion to fuel his goals in his life. I really appreciated that about this memoir. He was always striving, always looking to the next obstacle, the next goal in his life. And then it talks about him going to law school, moving out to Illinois, meeting Michelle, and then running for state senator, and even failing at running his first few times at certain things. And then it goes into the election, the primary, into his inauguration, and then the first few years of his presidency. So it does cover a lot, but it is a long book and it is very detailed. And he is a fantastic writer and orator. Um, that's why I wanted to listen to this because it's Barack Obama, you got to listen to him. And what I really appreciated about this memoir is how he was able to walk this line of being very confident and being extremely decisive and headstrong about certain things, while at the same time always looking out for other people, always making sure that what he's doing is lining up with his own values and what he really wanted to do and what he wanted to do to change the nation and the world. Now, living through that time, there was such a heightened excitement when Obama got elected that things were really going to change. What was interesting about this memoir is you felt that change happening, but you also felt that pushback from other people. And you could tell that he wanted to just like scream in frustration, but he knew that to make progress, we had to make progress one step at a time. Sometimes we can't make huge progress right away. He realized that we had to make slow, incremental progress. And I really appreciated that about this book. I thought it was fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's interesting to me how I hate politics, yet I'm okay with reading or listening to a history book about politics. So I think maybe like 8 years removed from it, from whatever happened, is probably the best thing. So this book ended on a high note as we captured Osama bin Laden, and he talks about other things that happened during his presidency. The Great Recession was a huge part of this book. I learned a lot about the Great Recession while listening to this book, and also passing the Affordable Care Act was a huge aspect of this book. Um, just overall, the changes in the media were discussed, and the changes in how the two parties got along were discussed. I thought it was a great book. I highly recommend it. It is very long, and I'm happy that I read it. And I am looking forward to reading volume 2 when it gets released. But I really need to be in the mood because I don't know if a 30-hour audiobook is in my future or not. Thanks for watching. Borrow it at your local library.